It is officially time to start. So welcome guys, welcome to Bucharest. It is 6 p.m. and it is Friday 29th of November 2023. I like to set a date because some of you might be watching this on replay in 10 years. And Romania is a country that seems to be changing very quickly. So it might be very, very different in 10 years from now. And anyway, welcome everyone. So we'll have tonight a little stroll in the beautiful city of Bucharest. And I've only been here 2 days, so little disclaimer, I don't know everything. I've done my homework, but I don't want to tell you too much history because I'll also do a little video, 2 little videos actually, one in Bucharest and one in Transylvania. Anyway, let me flip this camera around. So we are on, we might see a bit of Dracula in a moment, yes. We are on Uini Square, or Piaza. Let me show you, just to prove that we are indeed in Bucharest. You've got the name up there on the clock. And welcome everyone that just joined. Let me show you the beautiful fountain. Apparently there's gonna be a fountain show tonight and tomorrow. I'll be gone already because I'm going straight into the airport after the tour. But beautiful fountain, and they say the show is gonna be even better than the one in Dubai. I kind of doubt that, but who knows, who knows. I'll have to watch it on telly or on YouTube or whatever. It's not gonna be too scary today, not too scary. Well, we do have 2 bloody stories really, but not, you don't have to be over 18 or anything, don't worry. So yeah, I just wanted to start the tour here because I wanted to show you those interesting communist buildings really. If you looked around us, the building on the piazza are not exactly very beautiful. Let's go, because they date back to the time of the communist regime, to the time of Nicolae Ceausescu. So that was the dictator. So the piazza here, it goes straight down. There's a very long boulevard, very, very long, longer than the Champs-Élysées. And it goes straight to the building of Parliament, which is the heaviest building in the world. So heavy that it actually sinks down into the ground every year by, I think it's 6 millimeters every year. So that was at the time they wanted to be the biggest at everything. And to my right here, we're not gonna go because it's not very pretty, but that's where you have the river. If you can call it a river, technically it is an arm of the Danube. It's called the Dambogita, but they've moved it. So basically Ceausescu wanted to recreate a city, like they copied a lot of some of the capitals in Europe, and like Paris or all that. So they wanted the river here. So they've basically moved one arm of the river to have it right next to the town center here, but it doesn't look very pretty because you can see it's not natural. So we're not gonna have a walk by the river tonight. We're going into the old town, and you'll see from here. Let's face it, those buildings are not particularly beautiful, right? Well, the minute we go behind them, you'll see it's gonna change. It's gonna change completely. It'll suddenly be much more beautiful and much more authentic, really. Now, I've only spent 2 days here, but I can tell you one of the negatives of Bucharest. It's actually the traffic light, the crossing. It's not let's run for our life because it's green, otherwise we might have to wait forever. Sometimes you have to walk miles before, not miles, I'm exaggerating, but you have to walk no, we'll have to wait. Yeah, you can wait forever for the green man, and sometimes you have to walk meters and meters before to find a foot cross. So we'll just wait and then we'll run for our life again. You like the wide roads? Yeah, it's quite a few lanes. But you'll see as we go behind those buildings, it's gonna be very different. It's gonna be little pedestrian streets in the old town. I've seen a lot of expensive cars here. I didn't expect them to have so many expensive cars, but yeah. That road looks scary. Well, it's just that when the green man comes, you've got 10 seconds, I think, or I mean, I didn't really count, but it's very quick. So you literally, you have to go. Don't worry, that's the only road we've got to cross. After that, we'll be safe. So down this way, it's the old town behind those buildings. So while we're here, for the ones that don't know, Romania, it's now part of the EU. I think it's 2007 that they joined the EU. So it's not part of Schengen. So I could have come here with my ID, being French. I don't need a passport, but you still have a border. So it's not freedom of movement like most of the EU country, and they still have their own money. They're not with euro yet. Right, run for our life. There we go. We've made it. Before we go into the old town, let me show you an interesting little church here. Well, it's a little bit hidden. Is Bloody Mary the national drink here? Well, you know what, Ronelyn? We'll talk about Dracula. I don't want to tell you too much about Dracula today, because otherwise I'll have nothing to say when I do the video in Gran. But the Dracula story, it's a bit of a marketing coup for tourism, really. Anyway, see this little church here? It's completely hidden. That is in purpose. At the time of communism, they hid the churches. They were trying to kind of push people away from the church. So that's interesting to see how they've completely hidden it with those ugly buildings. And look at the ugly buildings here. I'll pop right behind it, and it's gonna be quite beautiful. Well, hopefully. I didn't expect Bucharest to be massively beautiful, to be honest, but the old town is. By the way, we are in Bucharest, not Budapest. There's a lot of people that confuse. Apparently, some people book the wrong flight tickets and they end up in the wrong country. It's a very, very common mistake. So I was planning to come here. I did not want to go to Hungary. I'm actually going to Hungary in November. I'm going to the dentist in Budapest. Anyway, see, we are now behind those ugly buildings, and we'll get to the old town. Yeah, I don't know. Imagine that. Imagine getting to the airport and be like, "Oopsie, wrong country." There used to be someone that did tours there. In Budapest, yeah. Oh yeah, we had a couple of great guides in Budapest, and we had a guide in Transylvania as well. Forgot his name. Right, so we are now right behind, and you'll see it's suddenly much. That's right, Michael. Yes, he went for he did a concert, Michael Jackson, and he said, "I'm glad to be here in Budapest." Oopsie, very embarrassing, but yeah. Right, let me climb up here to show you the view. So suddenly here, it's much more beautiful. So the church is probably one of the oldest buildings on the square, but let me show you. So you can see the difference in Susie. Yeah, there was Susie, and you had Adam as well. So here you've got those horrible blocks, and I mean horrible. I've seen worse, but they're quite classic communist building. And this building here, it's from the 19th century. That used to be an inn where you'd come on your way from, let's say, Vienna to Constantinople. It was a big trade route, and you'd be on horseback, and so that was one of the places where you could stay on your way, stop for a night, stop for a bit of food. Today it's quite a cool restaurant. I've had lunch there with my friend the first day to have traditional Romanian cuisine. It's probably one of the best places. Romanian cuisine is good, but oh, is it buffering? I hope not. It could be because it's a bit busy here. I do hope not. It's meant to be one of the best internet in Europe. So it should. Oh, no buffering. Okay, good. Cool. So yeah, the food, there's a lot of pork. So if you happen to be a vegan, it could be a bit tricky in Romania in general. Good for you. Good. Perfect. Cool. And this church here, that's where ladies come to pray on a Tuesday to find a husband. And they really do. I was here on Tuesday morning. There was a long queue. I think I've got a video. I'll show you when I do the video of the city. So ladies come to pray for themselves, of course, but also for their daughters to find a husband. So you can see a long queue of only ladies in the queue. Apparently, it's a tradition to pray here to find yourself a man. Behind the railing on my right here, there's a very old building, but it's going through refurbishment at the moment, so we can't see much. They have a statue of Vlad, but unfortunately, we've not been able to see it because it's under the refurbishment. But talking about Vlad, I think we should see him just there. Yes, there he is. So for the ones that don't know, when I say Vlad, I mean Vlad the Third, Vlad the Impaler. There he is. So Vlad was the Prince of Wallachia. He's known for fighting the Ottoman. So the Wallachia, it's part of Romania. Romania is made out of Wallachia, Moldova, and Transylvania. And at the time, they used to have to pay a tribute to the Ottoman Empire. So the Ottoman were, Muslim. So the tribute would be anything, from food to anything they could grow. But the Ottoman, they did not want pork because, of course, they were Muslim. So that's why they eat a lot of pork here. Pork and polenta, anything with corn, because apparently the Ottoman did not want corn either. It was the food of the poor. And you can see a gentleman in a coffin here. This is because, of course, Vlad the Impaler, is now believed to be the inspiration for Count Dracula. So when Bram Stoker wrote his novel, I don't think it's made clear anywhere really in the novel that the Count was Vlad the Impaler, but that's what we now believe. And we now believe that Bram Stoker might have been inspired by Bran Castle. So I'll take you there in my little video. So whether he is still alive after 500 years of drinking blood and hiding under the building of Parliament or not, I cannot tell you for sure. But what we do know is that he was definitely a very, very violent man. As his name says, he was known for impaling people. So mainly the Ottoman. So he stopped paying the tribute to them, and of course they wanted to come on the fight. And so impaling, that's not a very nice process, as you can imagine. He's meant to have impaled thousands of people in his career as Prince of Wallachia. So you'd be alive while impaled. They used to put pork fat on the stick, of course, to make it greasy and to make it go smoothly into your inside, but also because for the Ottoman, for the Muslim, that was a horrible insult to be inserted pork fat. Now, I'm not going to go into great details, but basically you'd be alive. They'll insert that in your anus very slowly with all that grease, very slowly, trying to avoid all the vital organs. So a good impaling, you could be alive suffering for 48 hours with a good impaling. So horrible, horrible technique. And what Vlad famously did, he left a forest of impaled Ottoman on the way. So when they tried to come, they literally turned around, you know. Yeah, not only the Ottoman, he impaled some Saxons as well. A lot of ladies, ladies that were a bit promiscuous, ladies that were having some sexual relationship before marriage. They would also sometimes be impaled or get their breast cut off. So a very violent man, but he's also here regarded as some kind of a hero, because for the Romanians, you know, he's the man that stopped the Muslim invading Europe. So, you know, interesting character. I didn't tell you that's in the 15th century, just in case if you're wondering. And all the Dracula legend came from him. Some say there's a lot of, even around Vlad, there's a lot of legend like that he used to drink blood, and maybe we don't know that for sure. It's so long ago, but yeah. And although it's never been really expressed in the novel, the legend of Dracula would be Vlad basically still alive. There's a lot of there's a lot of gossip about what happened to his body, because we do know almost for sure that his head was sent to the Ottoman and then impaled. We don't really know where his body was. There was a place where we believed he was, but they opened it and it was only a few animal bones. So that's how some say that he might have just been alive all this time. Interesting building up there. The trees are growing inside. So yeah, so that's, you know, we often associate Dracula with Transylvania, of course, but Vlad actually lived here. And he never actually, probably never went to Bran Castle. But it's been an interesting marketing technique, really, to get a lot of people into Bran. I visited both Bran and Pelès Castle, and I can tell you, Pelès is so much nicer. I'll show you both of them in the little video I'll do about Transylvania. We've got a beautiful church here as well. So most Romanians are actually Orthodox. It's about, the ratio is about 70%, and a few Catholics as well. And Romanian language, surprisingly, obviously I knew it was a Latin language because the Romans did invade here. That's how we got the name of the country, Romania. But then they retracted. And so it's a Romance language, like French, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese. But I did not expect it to be that easy for me to understand, because obviously we have a lot of Romanians in London, and when I hear them speak, I can only pick up a few terms. But actually, when you see it written down, it's fairly easy for us. When if you speak French or Spanish or Italian, it's actually fairly easy. It's about 70% Latin and 30% Slavic. So the sound actually sound quite different for us Latino speakers, but it's when you spell it down, it's actually very similar. A lot of, we won't really see much of those big official buildings today, but a lot of Bucharest was actually inspired by Paris. They used to call it Little Paris, or the Paris of the East. You've got, you have the Arc de Triomphe, so looking very much like the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. Yes, there's a lot of Romanians that speak French, yes, indeed. Yeah, and Italian. It's fairly easy for them to learn French or Italian, or potentially even Spanish. And once you see it spelled on, it's actually And they say merci, which is, some of them to say thank you, they say merci, which is funny. Anyway, let's go and take a look. There's a lovely little Greek church here, well, a monastery really. I'm gonna check if the gardens are open. If they are, I'll show you the gardens because it's super cute. Let me see. So that's a beautiful little church. Can we go in maybe? Yes, we can, lovely. So, just so you know, obviously it's a place of worship, so I'm gonna be silent for a couple of minutes. But if I can, I'll take you into the little garden. I might even be able to take you in. I don't know if I would lose a signal. We'll try. So I'm just stepping out because it's very dark and it seems like there's some kind of service, so I didn't want to disturb. But let's have a little look at the beautiful gardens. Yes, it looks like the hardy tree. Yeah, they've moved the stone and they put it around the tree. That's exactly what I thought when I came here. If you guys don't know what the hardy tree is, it's a tree in St. Pancras Gardens in London, but it's fallen down now. It looks a bit like a movie set, to be honest. It's a very unique between Roman and Byzantine architecture style. Yeah, very Arabic. It looks to me a bit like Andalusia, you know. Yeah. Anyway, let's go. So, can I go down? Yes. So, going back to bloody story, I did tell you we'll have two vampires, really. We've got Vlad. Everybody knows about Vlad, but would you believe we did have a vampire here in Bucharest in 1971? In 1971, we are through the time of the communism, so there were limitations on electricity, and I hope this is not copyrighted. I'm gonna make it quick here because, you know, YouTube doesn't like music. Right, I'm just gonna run because I don't want to get some copyright issues with YouTube. So yeah, 1971, we are in a very dark period here because there were some rationing with food, with everything through the communism, and there were some limitation with electricity as well. So at night, yes, Andrew, there was a busker there on the street, which is lovely. I wish I could include them in my tours, but YouTube doesn't like. Oh no, there's more here. Right, let's escape through the left. So yes, it was. It could sometimes be very dark at night in the streets in the 70s here, and in 1971 there was a series of women being brutally attacked late at night. Those ladies were waitresses, so whoever their killer was, he was waiting for them to finish work. He would follow them down the street and then he would attack them. Not all of them were sadly murdered. Some of them survived. We have a long list of 23 victims, really. One of them, Flora, survived. he used to attack them with a pipe, like a lead pipe, knock them off on the head, and with one of them in particular, he was spotted. He was sucking her blood, basically. As they were walking along the street, he had attacked her, and he was pumping out blood. So that's how he got dubbed the butcher or the vampire of Bucharest. And he eventually got caught. It was very difficult. They had told everyone. They had told all the hospital to look for, anyone coming with any injuries or anything like that. And he actually did get his finger cut during one of the attacks, but the hospital didn't let the authorities know. And eventually, he did get caught because, there were some kind of witnesses, and also because of his finger. And of course, he denied. And as he was arrested, eventually he said, "No, it's not me, it's my dad," which was an odd thing to say. He was executed by a fire squad. So not hanged or anything, but they basically shot him. And the very weird thing. So his name is Ian Rimanu. I know sometimes you like to look them up and to do a bit more research. So Ian Rimanu, the very weird thing is that when he died, when he was shot, about a year later, his dad fell off a train. Now, we don't know whether he fell off on his own or if it might be the police that actually pushed him. There's always been a bit of conspiracy theory behind that. This is the National Bank, by the way. And as the dad was dead, the police decided to take his fingerprints. And would you believe his dad, Floria, his name was, his fingerprint matched 4 murders, a series of murders that had been committed through the Second World War in the streets of Bucharest. A gentleman that was attacking ladies at night, especially during the thunderstorm or the very bad weather. So his dad was also a murderer. Or was it his dad all along? We don't really know, but that's a crazy case, really. People often wonder whether we were born evil, serial killers, or whether, something happened through your childhood or through your life. Well, in that case, it does look like really the dad could have transmitted that, psychopathy to his son. So crazy story. So we did indeed have a vampire in Bucharest. And maybe 2 if you include his dad, Floria Remaru. So yeah, that's the vampire of Bucharest. And let me show you a beautiful little passage here. It doesn't look like much from the outside, but you'll see it's absolutely beautiful inside. And again, as we go in, I'm gonna be semi-silent because I don't have permission to stream. I suppose it is private, so I'm not gonna be commenting much, just so I don't get kicked out. It's a bit like a V shape. They wanted to have it as a little lane. The building in the middle used to be a brothel, and they refused to move, so they had to do it as a V. It does look a bit like the Passage Pomeray in Nantes. Some of you might have been with me. Lots of lovely bars to come and have a drink. Well, who knows, maybe. They didn't have the technology at the time of Vlad, so who knows. He might have come back. Look how cute. There we go. So lovely, lovely little passage, and we end up on Calle Victory. Victory after the victory against the Ottoman. So it's a very long street as well that goes quite far up. Let me find a nice place to say bye bye. So you'll see there's another entrance to the passage here because it's like a V. So guys, it's gonna be the end of the tour. I don't want to go on for too long because I had a little issue with my I need to run again because there's music in the pub again. My external battery. We rented a car to go to Transylvania, and I tried to plug in my external battery on the little, that was the stuff to burn to light the cigars back in the days. Plugged it in, and suddenly we are in the middle of the mountain, and it stunk like burned plastic, like if someone was burning tires. And we went all around the car. We couldn't find out where the smell came, and it smelled toxic. And eventually I realized it was my charger that had burned. So I don't have any more external battery. So I need to be careful to make sure I have enough battery to take my flight, because my flight ticket is in the phone. So I need to have some battery at the airport to make sure I can go home. Anyway, do let me know if you have any easy questions before we go. And thank you very much for coming today. If any of you gave me a little tip through Buy Me a Coffee or PayPal, or even YouTube, I didn't see any on YouTube, but feel free to do that as well. It's greatly appreciated. And if you wanted to see a bit more of Romania, look up for my next videos. So I'll be posting two probably in the next 3-4 days. So if you want to see Transylvania, look up for the video. It won't be a live, it'll be a little video on YouTube. I'll probably do a little premiere so we can watch it all together. Thank you, Diane. Thanks, Rebecca. Thanks, Anita. Welcome, welcome, no, thank you, I meant to say. Thank you for coming. And next week, I'm taking you to Tenerife. So we've got two tours, one in Santa Cruz de Tenerife, the capital, and one in Los Cristianos. That's where my mother lives. Thanks, Roberta. Thank you, Linda. Thanks, Shin. Cool. I don't see any more questions, so I'm gonna let you go. Have a great evening, a great morning, whatever time it is for you, wherever you are in the world, and see you soon. Bye bye.